All right, so we're here at the area where we're going to have the DDX conference in May, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm here with the Munich Creative Business Week and Bayern Design Leadership, Nadine and Lisa. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having us here. Thanks.
I think what would be really great for the audience, if you could give a bit of context about yourself and introduce yourself shortly, that would be great.
Yeah, thanks again, Sebastian, for having us here. My name is Nadine Vicentini. Where can I start? I have been dealing with communication and design, brands and strategy for now more than 20 years. I originally studied media communication and culture studies. It was a part of a master program. And I worked then a couple of years in marketing. Yeah, my personal deep dive into the principles of design began then with the start in the agency world. And there I really learned a lot about design as an attitude, as the possibilities to shape things. And I worked with big and small brands from different institutions and industries, and have immersed myself very deeply in this world of design and the meaning of design. And I would say that design and creativity became something like a personal passion, and I really enjoy occupying myself with these topics. Then I really enjoy the interaction with young people, so supporting the next generation of designers led me to teach for several years at a design academy. And now for nearly 2 years, I have this really exciting position. I have been managing director at Bayern Design, the International Competence Center for Design. So that's about me.
Thanks, Nadine. Thanks, Sebastian, for having us here. So my name is Lisa Braun. I'm head of Munich Creative Business Week, and I have a background in classic product design and also project management. And but I really came from the, let's say, craftsmanship, because before I did an apprenticeship as a cabinet maker, so I came from the product design and furniture design, and then I studied design, but then I really had the feeling, okay, I'm more the person for design managing and not be the person for doing their own classic product design. And then I joined in 2019 the Munich Creative Business Week as a partner manager, and there I really dived deep into the world of the different program partners and the different disciplines of the Munich Creative Business Week. And now I really enjoy being the head of the Munich Creative Business Week, because I have the feeling that I get so much input from all the partners and from the disciplines and the trends in design. And I have the overview, but I can also, dive deeper into the different stories of the persons behind the companies and the agencies and the products. So, that's my story behind.
Yeah, and really liking the Munich Creative Business Week. For me, even personally, it was the first time I actually came to Munich. I think it was around beginning of my 20s. And actually the people I actually even met at the my first Munich Creative Business Week actually enabled me to get my first job later on. So actually I think it's just great to get to know new people, and of course like getting to know the different design studios, etc. So really liking that. You already mentioned Bayern Design. Maybe we can dive a little bit into sort of the task and the mission behind it.
Yeah, perfect. Bayern Design is the International Competence Center for knowledge transfer and collaboration on the big topic of design here in Bavaria. And through very different projects, we underline the importance of design and especially the key role it plays in tackling economic, social, and sustainability challenges. And Bayern Design exists now for more than 35 years. We have offices in Nuremberg and in Munich. And our inner driver is this idea of design connects. That means we link design and business, act as a point of contact for all types of industries, and always concerning the benefits of design as a cross-sectional topic. And what do we do exactly? We host forums for entrepreneurs, lectures, workshops, design talks, you name it. We curate exhibitions, so that means we really occupy ourselves very deeply with topics. For example, in April starts a great collaboration with the Neues Museum in Nuremberg. It's the design museum there. And it's about new materials and also the possibilities for us as designers working in this area. And we inform about trends and topics and also about design as a location factor in Bavaria. And we mentioned it before, our main project, the biggest project, is the Munich Creative Business Week, which takes place every spring in Munich.
Yeah. That's great to hear. Should we talk a little bit maybe about also Munich Creative Business Week and what this is all about?
Of course, yeah. So you mentioned it. So it's a platform and a platform for design and creativity. So it's an international platform for the Bavarian creative industry, and it provides partners the opportunity to present themselves and their projects and their products to a bigger audience, to experts and also to a design-savvy public. And it can be in different formats, for example, lectures, workshop, panel discussions, and also like a action or something outside in the city. So it's really a huge variety, and we have a lot of different disciplines, but this is also I think this is also the USP of the Munich Creative Business Week. So sometimes it's really difficult to handle all these different disciplines under one umbrella, but it's also the main USP because it shows the diversity of the creative industry, and the creative industry is diverse, and we have to show this. And what you mentioned before, I like the example that for you this was the first step into Munich and to get to know other people, and also you find your job. So this is a great example because that's also the Munich Creative Business Week. We would like to connect the people together so that they can establish something else. For example, finding a job, finding the next business model or something else. So this is really great, yeah. And we also would like to focus on international cooperation. So in the past 2 years, it was quite difficult for all of us, of course. Yeah. But in the past, we had also different cooperation with Denmark, with China, with Korea, Finland, and we also would like to do it more in the future, and also to bring other examples, other cultural methods and design thinking methods to Munich and to show it. Yeah.
You already touched on this a little bit, but what would you say is sort of the vision of the Munich Creative Business Week looking forward, and also what keeps you motivated when it comes to the Munich Creative Business Week, like running this like every year?
I mean, as Lisa mentioned before, I think our main aspiration is really bringing these different disciplines together to inform, to give the possibility to learn, and to gain inspiration. I think this event really lives from this kind of networking, from different areas. So we have the creatives, we have the business, we have technical expert, design friends, and the general public. So it's a very diverse group of people coming together. And for us, it's also important to open a topic-related discourse, an interdisciplinary discourse, because in our opinion, it's very important to have these different perspectives also to shape our own future viability. And as Lisa also mentioned before, I mean, it's important for us also to create a visibility for the creative industry, to bolster the design community. When we think about the scene here, so this small-scale nature of creative and agencies here, I think for them it's important to have this kind of platform to make design as a big picture visible, and maybe to pack it up. We also want to help to foster a culture of design thinking, of creativity, of innovation for Bavaria, but also for Germany and abroad. And yeah, we mention always, in our opinion, especially nowadays, it's important to have these different perspectives to learn, to shape our own view on things. And yeah, I think this interdisciplinary exchange is something that really the MCBW provides a lot. I don't know if you want to.
No, I think it's a really good summary of the intention and the vision. And I can just add a personal statement that I really like the visibility of all the different kind of partners. And my motivation is when I talk to the people and talk to, for example, a designer who is not really well known, but he can maybe in the future he might be well known. So we can give him the platform to get on the road to his experience for pushing himself. And this is what is my motivation then to create this platform.
I think it's also always for us very inspiring when we dive into the different event formats during these 9 days, because you always feel such a great passion and aspiration behind the projects the people present, and especially now I think is this very uplifting, and it gives you also hope in a way that we will find solutions for what happens outside. So.
Right. And I think talking about the theme that you have for this year, I think like something that you always try to do is to articulate the context of design in current times. Right now, of course, like we're living in a very uncertain environment, and how does that connect back to design? It would be interesting also to get a little bit idea what was sort of the idea behind the theme of this year and give some context.
Yeah, I think you mentioned a good point behind the idea, because our intention was to take something out of our society, a topic which is really surrounding us, and I think it's not new that we are living in a state of disruption and everything is different. So different is the new normal, and we can't go back to the normal status quo as maybe the politicians and the industry and also the society is asking for. So we have to cope with the new situation. And I think we strongly believe that this situation of disruption can reveal the power to create something new. And this is really the chance, to show we are the creative minds, we adapt to the situation and we create something else, we create the new status quo. And I hope that we find a lot of people who are really embracing this situation and are not overwhelmed by this status of disruption, and really take the chance and show what they can make out of it.
I think an interesting aspect, because when it comes to innovation, and innovation basically means like something new by definition, that always requires attention, right? So even say you work on a product team, you don't get anything innovative out of the door if there was not some kind of tension in the process. There most likely will be, If it's an engineer that has to go the extra mile to make something new happen, it's always going to require attention. And I think there is an opportunity in that. I think oftentimes we're talking about also the people here at maybe the DDX conference that may be working on digital products. Maybe it's really about the subject and like creating a better result. And that tension and sort of that restriction that many people have also in current times can lead to new innovations and the pressure that is connected to that. So already talking about like innovation here, I think what is also interesting, I know you are both really passionate about this, the importance of design, specifically when it comes to innovation and the economy. And I think also one of the motivations, as you said, for Bayern Design and the mcbw. So it would be also interesting to learn about your point of views there.
Yeah, I think when we talk about design, we have a very broad understanding of it. And the classification goes far beyond the aesthetic aspect of shaping products and services. Although this is an important aspect, thinking about perception and behavior change. So, but when we think about design, it's about, of course, designing objects and artifacts, spaces and atmospheres, usability, communication. But for us, it's also about designing processes, designing systems, designing identities or culture patterns. And design competence is really one of the most relevant assets for business success and also for the development of our society. And design acts as a catalyst. It creates new connections and opens new possibilities. And also interesting that it integrates other disciplines like material research, we talked about it a little bit before, artificial intelligence, or also aspects of psychology. And to break it maybe down into some most relevant elements, we always say that design is a strategic problem-solving process that tackles wicked problems, that drives innovation, that enhances the quality of people's life, and also that builds for us a better future. So, yeah, very interesting topic and really very comprehensive.
And I think it's also interesting, or it's sometimes also necessary to inform the companies how important this role can be. And the design is really important for every company, either it's a small company, a production company, or just a consultancy, so that you can integrate the design methods or design thinking methods in every step in your company. And for us at Bayern Design, it's sometimes hard to really show and to to give a good example that it's important. Because here, I think in Munich, in the creative industry, it's more than natural that design is everywhere, that you have in-house departments in the companies, really focusing just on design, UX design, product design, etc. But for smaller companies, sometimes hard to really convince them, okay, that design can be maybe useful, maybe not that huge project in design, but maybe a small step. And so this is also what we would like to push forward, and to show the role of design for everyone.
Yeah, I think so interesting. If you think about the importance of design, maybe more specifically also in the context of Munich, in the context of Bavaria, how do you see that also? I mean, you have been doing the Munich Creative Business Week also now for a few years. How do you see the importance of design or the role of design evolving when it comes to also Munich and Bavaria?
I think for Munich and Bavaria, it's very important because Munich and Bavaria is a huge business location. So they have, of course, a lot of production companies are here, but we also see that every huge company or let's say design company has a department here in Munich, or it's not the main quarter, but it's a huge department. So we have a lot of creative industries here and agencies, and there we can also see that there's a huge need and that there's a reason to be here. And what we also found out, or what we learned working with Bayern Design, that we also have a huge design university landscape here in Bavaria. So we have a lot of different universities, also in smaller cities here in Bavaria, focusing on design. So this is also, I think, very important and plays a huge role in the whole showcase of design here in Bavaria.
Yeah, and I think often we have in mind that Bavaria is still kind of hidden champion in this creative environment, but it's really rich. It's rich of creativity and diversity. I mean, we have a lot of design talents here. We have many agencies, small ones which are more undercover, or also these international networks. And thinking, for example, when we take some numbers, the design community is the second strongest sub-market in the culture and creative Bavarian industries. And if you add, for example, sub-markets like architecture or the advertising sub-market, we reach a share of more than 30%. And we are talking only about the classical understanding of culture, creative market. As Lisa mentioned, I think this is something we still forget in our discussion. All these designers, all the departments inside the companies, and the power that is growing there, and the spirit that comes then into the other business departments. And but also Lisa mentioned about the education and research situation here in Bavaria. It's really, we have 5 state design faculties, and also the Technical University of Munich underlines the importance of design. They established a new school of design. So there's really happening a lot, and we think that this is also the reason why the Munich Creative Business Week grow in the last years so much, and that we really can say from our heart it's the biggest or the largest design event in Germany. So.
And it's great that I have the feeling that Munich and Bavaria, they really recognize the potential of design. That's why we are having here the universities, or we have like Unternehmertum, the startup in accelerators, etc. So these are really all things to really push it forward, and this is good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also what is interesting, I think Munich or Bavaria at large always had a very strong economy also around manufacturing. I think like it requires then design also, because there are a lot of products and goods that were created, always created in Munich and designed in Munich. I think what is also interesting, I mean, like something I'm really happy about is the partnership between like Munich Creative Business Week and the DDX. And I'm really looking forward to the conference, but it would be also great from your point of view to hear like what are your hopes for it, and maybe the motivation behind the partnership and collaboration.
For us, it's great to have such a conference at the Munich Creative Business Week, because as I mentioned before, we have really a lot of different disciplines, and we are let's say we have less projects from your disciplines, from the UX area, so that's why I really appreciate to have such a project then in here, to get to know the people, to get to know the spirit, and to get to know the themes really you're focusing on in your discipline. So that's for us great, and also to broaden our network, to broaden our target group, to get to know new people. So I think it's one of our opportunities we see.
Yeah, and I think digital interaction and intelligent systems in design, I think this is one of the most growing areas, fields in design. So for us, it's totally important for the Munich Creative Business Week to also enlarge these topics in our program. And I mean, you have a great schedule, a great agenda with very interesting speakers. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity for the audience to gain more insights from this digital design world. And we are very happy. So, let's see what's coming next.
What is your intention
in
our cooperation?
Good question. So I think what is of course like a bit of a personal history. I think like as mentioned, that maybe drives also a bit of the passion. But then also I think what is interesting is the interdisciplinarity that I think you already pointed out, that it's really important for designers to know about other disciplines of design and have a more holistic look at design. And I think like the Munich Creative Business Week really serves as a great place for that, because while the event very much focused on user experience and innovation, this is just one part of the bigger picture of design. This is something I really like to emphasize, that this strong part about design is always sitting in between technology and business, in between like science and humans. I think it's a fantastic event and organization, and open studios and conferences, and I think really helping to connect the design community in Munich. So yeah, I'm happy to DDX is part of that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I think that is the end, but thank you so much for taking the time here, talking with me and talking a little bit about Munich Creative Business Week, Bayern Design, and the mission behind it, and the hopes for the upcoming years and the event.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks.